Hey, welcome back to the This Old Baker podcast. I'm Kim, and today we're not talking about recipes. Today I want to talk about something that I think a lot of us in this space feel but don't say out loud, because saying it out loud feels like complaining, and nobody wants to be the person who complains. But I think there's a difference between complaining and telling the truth. And today I'm going to tell the truth. This episode is for anyone who is building something real, who is showing up consistently, doing the work, putting out content that actually took effort, and sometimes looking around and wondering if any of it matters. If the algorithm even sees you. If the numbers will ever reflect what you're actually putting in. If that's you, stay with me, because I see you. And I want you to know you're not alone in this. Let me tell you what building this old baker actually looks like from the inside. Because from the outside, it probably looks like someone who loves to cook and posts about it. And that's true, but it's not the whole picture. There are days when I'm not feeling well. Physically, I mean. And I sit down and write content anyway. Because the blog doesn't take days off. The audience doesn't pause while I rest. And I've spent years building something that I'm not willing to let go stale because I had a hard week. And there are rewrite queues that number in the hundreds. There's SEO research and keyword tracking and posting schedules and podcast scripts and Pinterest strategy and email lists and affiliate links and ad optimization. And I haven't even started on the photography yet. This is not a complaint. I chose this. I love this most of the time. But I think it's important to say what it actually is, because the way content creation gets talked about online makes it sound like a lifestyle and not a job. And for those of us doing it seriously, it is a job, a hard one, that we do largely alone. Here's the thing, nobody tells you when you start building an audience online. The algorithm doesn't care if you're good. It cares if you're engaging. It cares if people click and watch and share and save. And those things don't always correlate with quality. I've watched accounts blow up with content that I wouldn't put my name on, recipes that don't work, information that's just wrong, aesthetics that are gorgeous, and substance that's basically nothing. And they grow up sometimes incredibly fast, while people who are doing careful, tested, real work are grinding at a fraction of the pace. That is genuinely frustrating. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. There are days when you look at the numbers and you think, what am I doing this for? And I don't have a tidy answer for that. What I have is this. I know the difference between what I'm building and what some of those accounts are building. And so do the people who follow me. And so do the people who follow them eventually. Shortcuts show up over time. You can't fake expertise in a scratch kitchen indefinitely. You can buy attention, but you can't buy trust. And trust is the only thing that actually converts to loyal readers, to email subscribers, to people who come back every single time you post something new because they know it's going to be worth their time. I want to talk about comparison for a minute because I think it's the thing that does the most damage to creators who are genuinely trying. We are all operating in the same visible space. The follower counts are public. The engagement numbers are public. The brand deals get announced. And it's very easy to look at someone else's numbers and measure your worth against them, even when you know, logically, that the numbers don't tell the whole story. Someone can have 10 times your followers and a fraction of your actual influence. Someone can have a massive platform built on content that doesn't hold up to scrutiny. And you can have a smaller, quieter audience that trusts you completely. And that second thing is worth more. It just doesn't feel like it when you're staring at the numbers. What I keep coming back to is this. I know who I am in this space. I know what I put out and why. I know that my recipes are tested and my voice is real, and my email list is full of people who actually signed up because they wanted to be there. That's not nothing. That's actually everything. But I'd be lying if I said the comparison never stings. It does. It stung this week, and I think pretending otherwise doesn't help anyone. If you're building something real and the numbers aren't reflecting the work yet, I want you to hear this directly. The work you're doing matters. The fact that you tested that recipe 3 times before you posted it matters. The fact that you wrote that post honestly, from actual experience, instead of just saying what you thought people wanted to hear, that matters. Even when it doesn't trend. Even when the algorithm buries it. Even when someone with a fraction of your effort and twice your followers gets the brand deal you wanted. You're building something that lasts. That's slower. It's supposed to be slower. Real things take longer than manufactured ones. I've been at this for years. I have over 800 posts on this blog. I have 61,000 people on my email list who showed up because the content was worth showing up for. I didn't buy that. I earned it. One post at a time, one recipe at a time, one honest piece of content at a time. And on the hard days, the days when the comparison stings and the algorithm feels rigged and the work feels invisible, I come back to that. I come back to what I know is real. I hope you have something to come back to too. That's what I needed to say today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of what I'm building here. Genuinely. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a creator you know who needed to hear it. That's the whole ask. I'll be back next week with something from the kitchen. But today I just needed to be honest with you, and I hope that counted for something. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.